Yeah. Also, happy Halloween, y'all. Have done their good now. So my name is Simone, and I'm mostly known for building shitty robots. Yeah, that's me. And I say mostly known because some of you might know me from one episode of a Chinese sitcom that aired in 2007. That's also me. Actually, I hope none of you know me from this because this was the worst day of my life. And if the Chinese sitcom was the reason I was here today, this would make for a very sad inspirational talk. I'm going to talk about my creative process, and it's one of the most frequent questions I get, like, what is the process behind what you do, and where do you get your inspiration from? And I always get kind of flattered that people think that there is some sort of mastermind process by my work, because to me, it just feels like a very long string of a random mess. But taking a step back, I realized that there were some methods and some ways of thinking that led me to having the job I have today. And that is, of course, being a part of Tested.com, competing in banana slapping against Norm Chan, but also running my own YouTube channel and potentially being the world's only full-time inventor of things that don't work. So on a higher level, one of the things that I realized is that when you're making things, and especially in creative processes, sometimes the why is an overrated question. So the way I started building shitty robots was that I really wanted to learn about electronics and programming. But I didn't study any of these things in school. I started studying physics, but I dropped out after a year, so I was kind of on my own. And the way I taught myself about it was by building a lot of projects. One of the first websites that I built was screenshaver.net, and it came from me mispronouncing the word screensaver and saying screenshaver and being like, I wonder what that would be. So this was the result. And yeah. I understood that this was kind of pointless. Can you still hear me all right? I feel like I'm breathing down my mic and into your ears. And I realized that this was kind of pointless, but I was doing something pretty tricky. Like, I was teaching myself how to make websites. So I was like, if these are the things that get me through it, then I should let myself spend time on it and not be too concerned with, like, what's the point of it? And how can I make money off of this? I mean, looking back at it, maybe I could make money if it was like people pay per hair shaved or to update to like new virtual razors. But the thing is, making goes beyond learning. It's much bigger than that. And sometimes it can be difficult to justify to people around you and also to yourself to spend a lot of time on something that you don't have a clear end goal with. But I realized two things. And one of them is that if you find the things you do interesting, there are probably other people who do too. And to me, this was huge because I was building these useless machines, and I really liked them, and I started putting them online, and it turned out that there were other people who liked them too. And I managed to build a business around it and create myself this job. And the second thing is that for some reason, when you're building things, you need a clear reason why you're doing it. But if you're like scrolling on Instagram or watching a movie or like just hanging out on the internet, nobody really questions why you're doing that. And to me, that is such a logical fallacy because creating things is always more valuable than consuming things. So this is all the like fancy justification of why it's okay to build shitty robots. I tell myself these things all the time. But now to like the lower level nitty-gritty stuff. This is how I have an idea for a shitty robot. First one is, have an idea of, like, identify a problem. And it can be something that you struggle with in your everyday life, or like tonight, when you're in an audience and you're gonna clap your hands a lot because we're gonna have such a great show, and at the end of the night, your hands might get really tired. Step 2 is to think of like a practical solution. You could choose to wear gloves, or you could decide that like clapping your hands is just not worth it. Please don't do that. I would ruin the whole show if you're like, great idea, Simone, we're just not gonna applaud for the rest of the show. Third step is to scrap all that and think again. So this is one of the first machines that I ever built, and it's called the applause machine. I bring this is probably one of my machines that I use the most. I bring it whenever I travel and give talks at events because it always saves the punchline. Like if a joke falls flat and things get awkward, you just start the applause machine. And then the awkward is kind of fun again. But the thing is, this is the 4th annual Tested Live show, and that deserves something much bigger and better than this one. Yeah, you're in for a treat. Let me introduce to you the Applause Machine Mega. Oh, wait. It also comes with a speed control, so this is like, yeah, good job, funny, yeah, clap along, that's fun. And we can go up a little bit. No, that's full speed. It's fast enough for all of our purposes. The Applause Machine Mega. So now in the honor of building useless things, I'm gonna do a brainstorming exercise with you. And you'll need something to write on, like a piece of paper or a computer or a phone, if you can just take that out. And it's called the brick. So I'm gonna give you 3 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot of time, but in this context, this is a lot of time. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to write down as many use cases for one single brick as possible. So the obvious one is a building block, right? But what's beyond that? And try to write down as many ideas as possible. See if you can get to like 30 ideas. Okay? Are you ready? And go. Just brainstorm, 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 brainstorm. And you're done. Great. This is so silly. So funny. Sometimes I take a step back and I get like this like third person view of what I do, and I'm just like, how did this happen? Okay, so what I want you to do now is to turn to the person sitting next to you, and I want you to read to them the last 3 ideas you wrote down, the last 3 ideas on your list. Okay. What was your worst idea? Raise your hand. Up in the front. A toilet? How would you use it as a toilet? It holds it? It's got holes? I don't know how tiny your poops are, but you get a brick. Don't worry, they're made out of foam. Anyone else? Raise some hands. You in the blue shirt.
I have a chair seat down in the theater so that if you get up and go to the bathroom, you come back, you don't have to awkwardly reach down to pull the seat down.
Oh, you're saying that the seat in these auditoriums, they kind of fold up automatically, so it'd be a little paperweight or like a seat weight to keep it down. That is actually a good use case. There you go. Okay. I realize I'm only gonna dare to choose people in the front because I can't throw that far. Actually, let's do one in the back, in the orange over there. Yeah. What was that? It's a heater, like a warm water bottle? Almost like a heater? Yeah. I don't know if these are microwavable, but if somebody wants to try it, maybe that's the next tested episode we do. I'm gonna have to give this to you afterwards. I'll keep it to you because I'm gonna hurt somebody if I try and throw it that far. Yeah. You're mean. Ah! I'm so self-conscious about being bad at throwing, and this was just like a weird nightmare come true. Okay, anyone else? What about you? A pet for sad people? Funny. That's a good one. Okay, I got two more. Okay, somebody's really excited, waving their hands in the back. You gotta have a good idea. Ammo for a trebuchet? Ah, that's a good use case. Yeah, you want me to throw it? It was like halfway there. You're just being kind. Okay, last one. It was the stormtrooper, or the super trooper, like Ryan said the other day. You typed an umbrella, but it autocorrected it to Uber, so you're gonna go with an Uber. Yeah, this is a 1-star ride for you. So I've done this brainstorming exercise with a lot of different people, and I did it once with like a group of 11-year-olds, and this one girl was like, "You can use it as a coffin for your dead pets." I was like, I have no idea how to react to that. But the thing I really love about this exercise is that you very quickly run out of good ideas and you're forced to go into bad idea land. And sometimes bad ideas are surprisingly good. Thank you. I'm Simone Yach.